What's up everyone out there in YouTube land? Today we're going to check out a very small device coming from Innokin. This one is called the PocketBox. And I know people have heard of the Pocket Rocket, but this is not a self-pleasuring device for men. This is actually an all-in-one device for vapors. This is the tank, the atomizer, the mod, the battery, all in one little compact design. And I will say these little things can actually put out some vapor. I got 3 milligrams in this one. I do have a second one here that we're going to talk about later on in the video, but this one right here got 3 milligrams loaded up. I got some of the yummy e-liquid from Brad's Vapor, and yeah, let's have a quick vape. Got the airflow wide open. I got the 0.35 ohm coil in here, which is the direct lung coil. They do have 2 coil options, which we'll talk about, but let's have a quick vape. These little things will really put out. Now, these were sent over directly by Innokin for the purpose of this review. If you guys are looking to pick one up or check one out, I did do a search online. A lot of websites have these things currently on pre-order, I think. Going price for the kit, which will include only 1 coil head, you're looking at around $34.99. So let's have a closer look at the PocketBox kit. This one coming from Innokin. Inside the box, you're going to get the PocketBox device. They're going to toss in only 1 coil head. You're going to get some extra O-rings, micro USB charging cable, user manual, some Innokin stickers, and a bunch of safety cards because Innokin is all about safety. So you're going to get a battery safety card, a safety pamphlet, and a warranty card. Dimensions on this little device, we're looking at 72 millimeters tall from the bottom to the top of the drip tip, 47 millimeters wide, and 25 millimeters thick. It is constructed of a zinc alloy. It does have a real nice kind of soft rubberized finish. It's available in 3 different color options. Now, if we compare this to, let's say, a MyPod, which is a pod device, you'll see it's about the same, almost the same height as the MyPod. And if we can compare it next to the Dolphin or the Penguin from Joytech, you'll see the Penguin, of course, is much bigger, but this is a really small device. So we have a fairly simple device here. There's not really much to cover on this one. We're going to have your firing switch located at the top. And this one works like an unregulated device, meaning it's going to take the voltage directly off the battery. So depending on the charge status of your battery, depends on the voltage or the wattage that it's going to put out. We don't have any screens. We don't have any wattage adjustment buttons. We're going to have your firing switch. We're going to have some ventilation holes along the side right there. On this side, we're going to have a little viewing window. It's going to show you the liquid capacity inside the tank. And then at the bottom, we're going to have a micro USB charging port and an indicator light. Now, that indicator light's going to change color depending on the status of your battery. If the light is green, your battery's full. If the light is yellow, the battery's at 50%. And if the light is red, your battery's low and it's time to charge. The firing switch is like a diamond-shaped button, and it's actually like a rubber button. It actually feels like it's made of rubber. Very comfortable, and because of that rubber feeling, it actually sticks to your finger pretty well. It's not slippery by any means. So very comfortable button, nice and clicky there. And then, once again, we do have some ventilation cut out right there, just to kind of cool the battery off. This one is using an internal 1200 milliamp hour battery, and of course, you cannot remove the battery. They do include that charging cable so you can plug it into your cell phone charger, your tablet charger, your computer. If you guys want numbers on this device, the resistance range, it will fire down to a 0.2 up to 3.5 ohms. Now with a fully charged battery, it's going to put out 4.2 volts, around 40 watts at max, all the way down to 3.3 volts. And the coil resistance they include is actually a 0.35. And I think they offer another coil head. I think they offer 2 coil heads, but you only get 1 inside the kit. Now, the only thing you need to remember, 3 clicks on, 3 clicks off. So if you look on the front or the back, you're going to see that little indicator light. Now, if I press it down, you can see it's turned off because the light's not on. 1, 2, 3. You'll see it blink. Now it's powered on. You'll see the lights green, which indicates the battery is fully charged. Now this is considered an all-in-one device because the mod, the battery, the tank, and the atomizer are all in one. And the way this works, we have a Delrin 510 drip tip at the top right here. And it's kind of nice because you can actually use your own standard 510 drip tips. So if you're not a fan of the Delrin, you can use something else. And to fill this one up, all you're going to do is just remove the top cap right here. And if you look down inside there, we're actually going to have a 2 ml tank down inside. And if you look along the front right here, you guys probably can't see it, but there's a little black line on the window that's going to indicate how far you're supposed to fill it. If you fill it above that line, the liquid's probably going to leak out the top and you're going to get flooding. So make sure you don't fill up past that line. And then what you're going to do is just grab the coil they include. Now this is going to be a direct lung coil, and I know they offer 2 coil heads, but I can't seem to find the other one. But this is a 0.35 ohm direct lung coil head that's rated for 20 to 40 watts. And they do have another one, a mouth to lung coil head, but I can't seem to find it. So there's the coil head. Now, I usually tell people to prime the coil head before they use it, but for something like this, I don't recommend priming it because you will get spit back. So don't prime this one. Just go ahead and install it. And more than likely, I'm going to probably do this backwards. Will I? Oh, I got it right. There we go. So just go ahead and screw it onto the top cap. And then what we need to do is grab some liquid to fill this up. Now, I recommend, you know, it's all personal preference. You can use, if you vape 3 milligrams, you can fill it with 3 milligrams. But because it's a smaller device, smaller battery, and I'm not going to be really blowing clouds with it, I'm going to use a higher nick. I recommend 6 milligram or something possibly a little bit higher. So we're going to fill this up with something a little bit stronger. And the only thing about this is kind of hard to see the juice level with the black on black. But we're good about right there. I might have filled it up a little bit too much. We'll find out. When you drop this in here, if you overfill it, the juice will come pouring out the sides. But so far it looks good. Now I recommend letting this sit for about 5 or 10 minutes when you first install a new coil, so that way the juice can absorb inside the coil head, inside the cotton. If you install a new coil head and you start vaping it right away, more than likely you're going to get a dry hit, you're going to burn the cotton, and you're going to damage the coil. So let it sit. Pop your drip tip on there, and you'll notice we have adjustable airflow on the top right here. So you can get either a wide open direct lung vape, or you can close it off for a tighter restricted vape for a mouth to lung style vape. But I'm going to leave it wide open, and you can see I did overfill it just a little bit because I got some juice out here. So once again, make sure you fill it below that line or right at the line to prevent this leakage. Now here's the white one that I've been using. And when it comes time to fill it up, all you need to do, just unscrew the top cap. And the only tricky part about this is because the coil head is submerged in liquid, it can get a little messy, so you might want to have a paper towel or something on hand, or just try to hold it in one hand and fill it with the other. Just make sure, once again, you don't go past the line. And since we're just filling it up again, we don't need to wait 5 or 10 minutes because we're using the same coil head. Then once you fill it up, pop the cap on, and you're ready to vape. So let's talk a little bit about the PocketBox. Now, as I said earlier, I have 2 of these. I got 3 milligram in here, and I have a 16 or 18 in here. Now, I don't recommend probably using a 16 or 18 in here. That might be a little strong for some people. But if you usually vape at 3 milligram, I would strongly recommend bumping it up to a 6 milligram because it is a very low power device. So you're going to want a little bit more nick to get a little bit more of a satisfying vape. Now, I don't have 6 milligram on hand, so I decided to jump all the way up to 18. But I will say, putting 18 milligrams in here, closing off the airflow to get a nice mouth-to-lung style vape. And if I had the mouth-to-lung coil, it would have been even better. But using it this way, this little battery is probably going to last me 1 or 2 days because I'm only going to pick it up every so often, take a small little vape off it, set it back down, and for that reason, it's going to last me a long, long time before I have to charge it. So let's have a quick vape on it with the 18 milligram in here. I got the airflow closed off, so we're going to do a mouth-to-lung vape, and you can get this thing nice and tight for a nice, tight, restricted vape. Let's have a quick vape. Right there, that one vape I'm good. I'm satisfied. I'm going to set it down. I'll come back to it in, 20, 30 minutes possibly. If I was at work, which you guys know I'm on a very long vacation, but, if you're out and about and you don't want to blow clouds, you don't want to bring batteries, you don't want to do any of that, something like this with a high nic juice would be absolutely perfect. Let's have a quick vape off the 3 milligram with the airflow wide open. Impressive. For such a small little device, I will say the flavor and the vape, beautiful. The airflow, nice and smooth. These things are nice and quiet. Now, there is one little thing you have to worry about is that when you fill it, you got to be careful because you guys seen me up close. I overdid it just a little bit, and it will leak out the top if you go past that line. And when you screw the cap down, you're going to force all the liquid up. Also, at times, especially sometimes when you first break in a coil, you might get a little bit of flooding. You might get a little bit of spitback. Occasionally, I got some spitback on these. But I've noticed that with a lot of all-in-one devices that I occasionally get spitback. So this is one of those things to look out for, especially if you're using a really high nic juice, that you might get a little spitback either at the very beginning when you're breaking in your coil or when you're filling it up. Just kind of be careful about that. Don't prime the coil heads, because I always prime my coil heads on any tank. When I first got this, I primed the coil head a little bit. I popped it in, I filled it, and I just completely flooded it. So do not prime the coil heads. Just fill the tank up, wait 5 or 10 minutes when you first use the coil, and it'll be perfectly fine. Now, I do like the drip tip on here. It's nice and comfortable. I like the fact I can use my own 510 drip tips. The airflow on here, the airflow adjustment is perfect. You can get it nice and wide open, or you can close it off for a real restricted vape, a nice tight vape, very similar to a cigarette for smokers out there. The firing switch, awkward location for some people probably. It's such a small device, so you're probably wondering why is the button on top. I do agree, it is kind of weird to vape, but the button's nice and comfortable. It's actually like a rubber button. It feels like it's made of rubber. So it grips to your finger really well, and I don't know, it's comfortable. I have no complaints at all with the button. Very simple design, no screen, no menu, no wattage buttons, no adjusting. I like simplicity, so this is perfect for me. We do got the viewing window on the side, so you can see how much liquid you got in there, which is nice. The micro USB port on the side. We do have the indicator light to let you know when your battery's about to die. All in all, it's a nice little stealthy, I don't want to say starter kit, because it can be for new vapors, it can be for the beginner, it can also be for the experienced vapors. I can see myself using something like this on my nightstand, or when I go out and I don't want to get too crazy. I don't want to bring bottles of juice. I don't want to bring batteries. So what I'll do is I'll load it up with some high nic juice, slide it in my pocket, and this will get me through the entire day when I go out because I'm using a high nic juice. I probably would not recommend using a salt-based liquid on here because keep in mind it is using a sub-ohm coil head. So I wouldn't do salt liquids, but a higher nic juice probably would benefit inside of this thing. But all in all, awesome device. Innokin did an awesome job. I was pretty amazed because I didn't think I would like something this small. But good job. Great flavor, great vape. Definitely check one out. That's pretty much it, guys. That's all I got for you today on the PocketBox. I want to call it the Pocket Rocket so bad, but I can't. If you guys got any comments or questions, please feel free to leave them below. Please hit that subscribe button. I'll talk to everyone very, very soon. Make sure you guys build safe and vape on.